Yo, what's going on, you guys? It is CJ Brand here, and today we are back once again with a brand new tech review video for you guys today. Now today we're going to be talking about the Canon ecosystem, just because they're doing a lot of crazy things in my opinion, but I ain't gonna lie to you, this is probably one of the best ones they have pretty much made, especially for the price point of it. Today we're going to be talking about the Canon R50V. Yes, the R50V. Canon recently went ahead and dropped the R50, I want to say maybe like a year or two ago. And I was actually an owner of that camera, and I loved it until I didn't like it anymore. I just felt like that camera wasn't for real perfect for the average content creator. You know, it had the vertical, you know, options in the settings and everything, but I feel like that it lacked it lacked something, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know exactly what it is, but it just wasn't all that. Like straight up. Now with this R50V, I ain't gonna lie to you, just reading off the specs and everything, obviously everything is different from paper versus in real life experiences, but from what I've been able to see, this R50V is actually living up to the hype, bro. And I think that if you are looking for a brand new camera, you can most likely go ahead and pick up this R50V. Let's go ahead and start talking about this camera though, you guys. Let's get it. Now the R50V, I ain't gonna lie to you, it has like a pretty cool design in my opinion. I feel like that it's almost taking like a vintage camera look and then also mixing it up with like a bloxy look. I don't know if you guys ever seen like the R5, they have like a Lego one that you can go build it out of. Not trying to say it looked like plastic or whatever, but it has that same texture of it, and I ain't gonna lie, I personally love that look. I would buy it based off the looks itself. I'll probably put it on the shelf if I don't ever want to use it. But then again, that'd be kind of silly for me to spend that much money and not use a camera. So yeah. But anyway, moving forward. Now the R50V, the V on that camera to me stands for vertical versatility. I think that's exactly what it is too. I ain't gonna lie, I didn't look up the name of it or anything. But on the camera itself, it's taking the, I'm gonna say this in advance, I apologize, but I think it's taking a little something from Sony, you know, the what is it, the FX30. They have mounts all around the camera pretty much. Now with this R50V, they actually have a vertical mount on the side of the camera, which makes it a lot easier, especially for like a creator that wants to just go ahead and, you know, just hook the camera up to the mount and go on about your life. Like with me personally, with my R50 or my R5, I should say, I have to actually like hook it onto my mount, then turn it sideways. But with the R50V, you don't have to do that anymore. You can just go ahead and take that little 1/4" thread and straight screw it in there, and then boom, you have a vertical mount. It does still have the one at the bottom, so that's perfectly fine as well. But bruh. Now moving on from the design aspect of the camera, let's go ahead and get into the features. Just because the features, you know, they really do add up some, I ain't gonna lie to you. Now this camera right here is gonna be packed with a 24.2 megapixel APS-C camera. So it is a crop sensor camera, but that's what you can expect from this type of camera. That's what the R50s are. They're always going to be a crop sensor camera. Don't get upset about it yet, because crop sensor does not mean that it won't, you know, give you the best of the best. Me personally, I don't care for crop sensors because I love to have that true depth of field. I want my background to be as blurry as possible. And when I had the R50, I didn't think that that was able to be accomplished to that extent. Even with the FX30, it just wasn't hidden for me personally. But for the average content creator, if you really don't care too much about quality, then this R50V is definitely going to be the right camera for you. Now with the 24.2 megapixel APS sensor, you also do get the Digic X processor. That's the same exact processor that's actually inside of this R5 that I personally have. Now this R5 is a $5,000 camera. Let me stop lying, because I like to round stuff up. I personally paid dang on near $5,000 for it after I got the upgrades and all the stupid stuff for it. But the camera is like $3,000 as of today. So looking at the price point from the R5, knowing that you get the same as like Digic X processor, so that autofocus is going to be fire. It's a lot, bro. It's a lot to really unpack, and I don't want to give y'all too much technical details on it because I want to make this easy to consume for, you know, the average creator that's really looking for a perfect camera for their setup. Now, also on top of that, let's say for instance, if you want to go ahead and shoot in log, that's what I've been doing recently. The R50V also allows you to go ahead and shoot in Canon Log 3. It also has 10-bit color, so therefore you're going to have a lot of range to play around in the color aspect of it. If you don't want to use the base color, you can always change it over to like a log and color grade yourself on Premiere Pro, DaVinci, or Final Cut, whatever you do use. But if you don't want to use log either, trust me, they got the regular color profiles up in there. You can get that amazing, gorgeous, Canon color, you know, some you don't know how to do yet. Anyway, now let's go ahead and talk about the video aspect of this camera. And like I said, this camera right here is really meant for the average creator, content creator, somebody that's either just starting out or somebody that really wants like a backup camera, or somebody that wants to say, you know what, hey, I'm done with this big rig. Let's get us something smaller and call it a day without having to take too much of a, you know, a hiccup, I should say, with quality. This camera also can shoot up to 4K up to 30 frames per second while using a full APS-C sensor. However, if you do want to shoot up to 60 frames a second, it will crop in additionally, which me personally, when I had the R50 as well, I will say this, having like I would normally shoot in 60 frames a second on that camera, only because I would love to I would shoot like a 24mm and I want that to crop in more and more. That was fine with me, but if you don't like it, then you probably do want to shoot in like 30 frames or less, and it's really no biggie at all. But also on top of that, if you do want to record in 1080p, that right there does go up to 120 frames per second as well. This is a cool little feature as well for me personally, because I'm a type of person where I actually film my own content. I don't hire nobody to do anything just yet. You know, we're gonna keep our fingers crossed for that. But sometimes, you know, you just don't know if your camera is actually recording, and sometimes, you know, my screen may not show because I got too much stuff going on behind it, where my viewfinder may all of a sudden just get cut out, which that's kind of crazy in my opinion. But anyway, this camera also has a tally light on the front of it, so therefore when you actually do press record, you're going to know that you're actually recording, because that light is either going to be bright vibrant red, or it may be flashing to let you know like, hey, we are recording, you're good to go, go ahead and go on about your day. So I'm definitely, you know, stoked about that. Now, like I said, I'm a heavy Canon user, and me personally, just looking at this R50V, me personally, if I was somebody that was just getting into content creating, I personally would go ahead and pick up this camera. Canon has a lot of different lenses. You can get like 35mm lenses, 24s. You can even get combo set lenses, like the 24 to 70s, 70 to 200, all that good stuff. We have all of that here, and I personally think that if you are looking for a brand new camera or just looking to get into content creating, I would definitely check out the Canon R50V, just because, like I said, the specs, hey, the specs line up. The autofocus is straight fire no matter what. The same Digital X processor that's inside this R5 is going to be inside the R50V as well. So you let me know, would you go pick up the R50V or not? We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.